fantastic day so far. I am Natalie Colalillo, the founder and CEO of this incredible community built by unbelievable leaders. And I am so excited to be here with you today with the amazing Vivian Singer. I know you like Viv better than Vivian, but I had to say your full name.
You have to say it the way it's spelled. Vivienne. No one's ever called me Vivienne, but it's a French spelling. But Viv is good.
So thank you so much for being here, Viv. So just so that I can let everybody know, Viv is our Toronto East branch director. She runs the show in Toronto East. She is such a phenomenal leader and branch director. My gosh, if you ever get a chance to go to her events, well, make the chance. But Viv is also a content and copywriter. She does some incredible events in the East End, helping people with their copy and their business writing. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, the importance of good writing for your business. Yes, Viv?
Yes. Sounds good.
Awesome. So tell us more. Tell us a little bit about you and how long you've been doing this and what you do and all that good stuff.
Sure. I have actually been doing this now for more than 20 years. I've been self-employed for 20 years as a writer, which is in and of itself is phenomenal that I have been able to freelance for 20 years and still have business coming in. So it's amazing. I was doing some writing before that, but I kind of launched my own business when my daughter was born, probably similar to many other women in Happy Healthy Women as well, right? Where you just realize that your lifestyle has to somehow, you have to work your work around your lifestyle. So I had the luck of never having to choose between work and daughter and being able to manage both on my terms. So it was amazing. So so I'm a copywriter. As far as what that means, it means if there are words involved, I help my clients sort them out. So whether it's blog posts that need to get written or ads that need to be done or website content that needs to be done, or even, I think one of the biggest forms of communication now is email marketing. So I do a lot of email marketing for my clients as well. And that's what I do.
I love it. And so if anyone who is watching has questions about writing for your business, please do throw them in the chat over the next few minutes, because we're going to talk all things good writing for business, right? So Viv, let me start off, I guess, by asking you, why would I, as a business owner, want to have someone like you on my side when it comes to what I'm putting out there in my business?
Right. Okay. Great question. One of the things that I have come across, especially with other content developers like designers, web developers everybody knows, right? That, or I would say, speaking to this community, hi, Happy Healthy Women, speaking to you directly. I'm guessing some of you might build your own sites, but it's quite easy to understand when you've hit a block and it's time to hire somebody to build your website, right? It's like, that's not my wheelhouse. I'm going to farm that out. I don't know HTML. I don't know how to use WordPress or whatever. The challenge with writing is we all know how to use MS Word, Microsoft Word. And often people think, well, I know how to use that tool, so I'm going to do the writing, right? But it's not just about getting the words on the page. It's about getting the words right. And I was actually just chatting with a friend this morning about this call, and I was saying in the same way that people will often, it's funny, people really often allow that part of their business to go because it seems like a luxury. But if you almost look at it like if you were going to go to a business networking meeting, you wouldn't want to show up with like lint on your sweater or a hole in your pants, right? You want to show up in a way that really delivers a professional look. And when you have copy that, there are many people that can write for themselves, so I'm not for everybody. Some people really do have this gift and this skill, and they're able to do it. But for others, the quality of your copy really can compromise how you're putting yourself forward, as much as a shoddy website or a broken link or a hole in your pants at a networking meeting, right? So it's just really about delivering, conveying yourself as a professional. And I think the challenge is that when people are critical, and if somebody goes to your website and they're tripping over bad writing, it's going to reflect poorly, and they're going to miss your message, right? You end up you've got like a ton to offer, but they may get stuck on something like poor grammar, and potentially just sort of lose confidence in you, which would be a real shame, because you're not trying to sell grammar, you're not trying to sell English, you're trying to sell
Mhm.
but there's, when the copy's not there, when there's too much copy, when there's not enough focus, when you're missing some of the basics that a copywriter understands, you can kind of really lose your audience before you've got them.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, and this is a really great thing to be focusing on, because in within Happy Healthy Women, right? There are many entrepreneurs that are just getting started in their business, right? And there's women at different levels for sure. But what would you say to the one who is just getting started in their business and they're thinking, well, I don't really have it in the budget to everything she's saying is great, but it's not really in my budget to hire someone to do the writing. Like
Yeah.
I'm still doing my accounting. I'm still doing, my own social media. Like I'm still doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
Tell us your thoughts on that, Viv.
Yeah, and I totally get that, because when I was building another business, which I've now parked, even there were even things there that I didn't want to farm out, right? Because I wasn't making any money from that business at the time. I would say it's important to note, I think a lot of people think, oh, copywriter, this is going to be a huge investment. It's like I'm not ready for a marketing agency. You don't need to necessarily have a $2,000 budget to have a writer. And the way that I work with people is I often give them that option of, well, here's how we can do this. I can interview you and write the whole kit and caboodle. Or you can take a stab at this first and then come to me, right? Which is a really far more affordable option, because I can absolutely give somebody some key pointers and say, okay, in your bio, I want you to think about this, 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 and this. You craft something, don't get caught up in the language, don't get caught up in the flow, but somebody may be able to put that together and then come to me, and it ends up being an hour's work or 2 to 3 hours work to edit somebody's website, right, and give them feedback, versus a larger project like writing copy for an entire website from scratch. Failing that, again, I'm very bad at self-promotion, because I also want to speak to those that don't even want to do that, to let you know that while I think it really is in your interest to have a professional writer look at your work, if you absolutely can't do that, look at some websites that you want to emulate, or do some research on what makes good copy. And I'd be happy to share a few tips as well, on how to do that. Like, as you know, I have my blogging workshops, which we may chat about, but that's specifically on blogging. But just some general best practices around all your content, like whether it is your email marketing funnel, whether it's a blog post, whether it's your website. There are some real basics there that need to be considered that I do often see overlooked. And I think getting a handle of those basics can be really helpful as well.
Cool. Did you want to share a couple of those basics, Viv? Like, is that something that you want to share?
Yeah. So I was thinking, what I would share is really some of the things that I often see, right? So I think one that most people do know is that don't begin by talking about you. Talk about your audience, right? Hi, I'm Viv. I'm a copywriter. You'll go to my website and you will see that, but I'm in a slightly different scenario, because in my craft, people are going, I just have my website there so that people have found me, can see what I'm all about. I'm not actually in a proactive sales mode with my business. But when you are, it's about asking those questions. Are you experiencing this? Are you experiencing that? By working together on this. So you're not just coming in and saying, hi, I'm a transformational coach and I specialize in this, right? It's like, how are you going to hook them in? By speaking to them. So that's the one fundamental. And I think most people know that. When it gets to some really, tactical bits, there is, of course, the use of the English language. Be really careful and diligent. Don't count on a spell check. I can't remember what the name of it is, but it comes up in Word, right? There's one that everybody uses. It's going to tell you when you've written a word that doesn't exist. But I know somebody that actually it was fortunately an internal document when I was working at an ad agency that said that they stored Kellogg's in their panties instead of their pantries. Okay, your spell check is not going to tell you that you have made an error like that. So read your work. Don't count spell checks. But yeah, the more tactical stuff I would say is, no matter what you're writing, even emails, when people see blocks of text, it is just like, right? So think about white space. And I think it used to be that you just really needed to think about this in web content and blogs. And so in my blogging workshops, I'll always tell people, like, your paragraphs, you don't want them to be more than 2 or 3 sentences.
Mm-hmm.
To take up more than 3 to 5 lines. You
Mm-hmm.
want to keep having breaks, right? And including subheads where you can, so that people, we are now skimmers. That's what we are. And we've known for a long time we skim the web, right? But I think now, because everything is being done online, we skim emails too. And I can't tell you how many emails I've received where I'm just like, I can't even begin. And you end up missing, or your reader will end up missing the value,
Mm-hmm.
because you have given them so much content. They're not going to get to your special offer or to the highlight of this program if you haven't broken it down, if you haven't maybe, thinking about introducing stuff. So, hey, I just wanted to touch base and let you know I've got a lot going on. What I'm going to talk about here are 3 programs I'm running. I'm running this, this, and this. Keep scrolling for details. And then subhead. Put a subhead in. And for the next one, a subhead. For the next one, a subhead. Like, this is something that I think really I'm hoping will help people here. Think about bullets, so that when people are skimming, they aren't having to go through paragraphs of content. And I recently have received, for a membership that I have, I've received a few emails that are trying to give me action for a new login process.
Mm-hmm.
And it is so buried in the email and in the body copy that I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back to that at some point. Like, I can't. And what I want to see is, here's the action I want you to take. 1, do this. 2, when you get there, do this. When you get there, do this. Boom, you're done, right? Like, we need to make things digestible for people, I think.
Mm-hmm.
In emails, in blogs, on our websites. The days of reading pages of paragraphs are over.
Got it.
Yeah.
So, and as I said earlier, for those of you who are watching, if you have questions for Viv, please do throw them up in the comment box. She is here to answer. But Viv, you have a blog workshop, and you have some other events that you're doing within your branch. But people from anyone can come. So, talk to us about what you're putting out there. What kind of events you're putting out there?
Yeah. So, well, as the branch director, I host our Authentically Connecting. I would love to see people coming out to that. I've just seen a comment from Anne, but I'll let you get to that one. That's very sweet. So actually, thank you, Anne. So Anne has actually participated in both of my writing workshops. One of them, I did post a poll across the Happy Healthy Women pages today. The first event that I run is a one-off event, and it's called Your Framework for Blogging Success. And I really kind of delve into the different types of blogs you can post, how you can research content, how you can come up with great blog post ideas, how you can create an outline, how you can do a little bit of basic search engine optimization. It's a 2.5 hour workshop. It's like a starter workshop for anybody that wants to get into blogging. So that's the first one. I've hosted those twice. They've been awesome. I've had really good feedback. And I've seen people leave those workshops and then be like, I have blogs. Awesome, right? So I'm going to be doing my third one, but I've actually put out a poll because I just wanted to give people a chance to pick the time slot that seems right for them so I can accommodate. So that's the first one. The second one that Anne has also been attending, and I'm going to point people to your blog post, Anne. The second one is my One Blog Down, right? One Blog Down. And I run these every 2 weeks, and these are co-writing sessions. And the idea here really was to create space so that it's kind of twofold. One is it's an accountability measure, because when it comes to writing blog posts, they don't feel like the thing that's going to get us the next client, right? It's not like, oh, if I don't get that blog post written this week, I'm not going to get any clients. It tends to get pushed to the back burner. And yet we know that content is really important. It's great for our rankings on social media. It gives us material to share in other platforms, in other groups. It gives us a reason to reach out to our clients and just kind of stay on their radar without being salesy. Hey, here's something I wrote. Hope it's of interest. Share it with your friends. It's really helpful, but we keep pushing it and pushing it. So these writing workshops happen bi-weekly, these co-writing workshops. And so the one advantage is the accountability, is that you set aside these 2 hours every 2 weeks. And the other advantage of these is, as I've phrased it so often in my descriptions, I manage the time for you. I give you the cues. Now you're going to work on this. Stop. Now this. Stop. Now this. And the reason I do that is to help people. I give them enough time to think it through, but not enough time to think it to overthink it. Because that's one of the challenges with writing, is I think we all feel like, unlike a conversation like this, even though I know it's being recorded and it will, remain on the Facebook page, when you've written something and put it out into the universe, there's this pressure that it needs to be like the best thing ever, like it's there forever. But when you get overwhelmed with that, you overthink it, right? And you keep thinking it's never good enough, and then you never post it. So the result from these workshops has been that people are getting, like, I would say, blog posts that are 90% done in 2 hours. And all they need to go do is tweak a few things and publish. So that's another workshop. And what I wanted to say about Anne is that she recently contributed to the Happy Healthy Women editorial, right? At Happy Healthy Women website, look for editorial. There's an article by Anne. And I looked at it and I was like, that looks awfully like the outline that we're using. And I didn't want to take credit. So I asked Anne, did you write that in one of our workshops? And she said, yes. And if you go and look at that, it's so beautiful. It's such a clear blog post. It's got a really clear headline. It's got really well organized content and space and everything, right? So it was so good to see the results there. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. And with that,
I said, so those are the writing workshops and the coffee talks. And then, we've got our usual book club, but I do want to say we have an author coming to our next one, which I'm so excited about. So anybody interested in memoir writing, we're reading a memoir right now, and the author of this memoir is going to be joining us. So if anyone's interested in writing a memoir, I would say just come along, even if you haven't read the book, to pick her brain.
Love it. Love it. And what's so great about these, just going back to the workshops for a second, like, it's not just for the blogging. Like if that content that you create in that blogging workshop can be used in so many other ways, right? You can use it in your social media. You can repurpose it. And so I think that that's a fantastic place to start and then repurpose your content.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, it's a really good point, is that, you can take one of your blog posts and say you've shared 4 tips suddenly, or 7 tips. Suddenly now you have 7 little pieces that you can literally pick up and put in your story separately. And every time you do that, you can say, or on a Facebook page, create a quote from your own blog. And every time you do that, you can include a link back to your website. You're actually giving them a reason to read the full post and go to your website as well, right? So it really gives you a lot of flexibility. Yeah. Or you can take a version of it and do a live Instagram just based on something that you've written. So
it's your place where you can house all of your great content, and this workshop gives you time to actually think it through and write it out, which I love.
Yeah.
So Viv, I'm just going to post up your website here because I really think that people should check you out. So people can go to vivsinger.com. And how, what do you suggest those who are thinking, well, maybe I need someone like Viv in my life to help me with my content? What would you suggest they do? Is it like free consultation? Do they just get in touch with you?
Always, yes. This is not like you get one free 45-minute consultation. I am, first of all, I want to say I'm here for the Happy Healthy Women community. I really am. And so when you go to my portfolio or to my website, this is not to toot my own horn, you're going to see a lot of big brands there. Do not think that this means I won't work with you. I want to say that because you might get there and see, oh my God, she's worked on Heineken and BMO and all of these brands. Yes, but I've also worked with many solopreneurs as well. And, I do the same thing for you as I do for them. So right now, I'm really excited to do more work with women, like the women in this community. And I'm just here for you. Like, call me if you're wondering about something. Don't be intimidated. Don't feel that if I call Viv to ask what's involved in this, then I'm going to be added to her email funnel. Guys, I don't have an email funnel, right? You're not going to start getting emails from me about, take me up on this and this. I'm just I'm here to shoot the breeze with anyone that is, you know, wondering how copy might work in their business. I'm happy to give people ballpark figures. I'm happy to, if somebody says I've only got this kind of budget, I'm happy to go, well, maybe we could look at this, or here's how you could get more from that budget. This is what you could contribute, right? And I'm also happy just if people want to do their own work, I'm happy to be your editor, your proofreader. So what anyone needs in this community, feel free to reach out to me and just shoot the breeze. And if we end up working together, awesome. If we don't, and somehow I've offered you something helpful, awesome, truly. So yeah, Viv Singer.
Love it.
That's it.
Love it. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody. That 20 minutes went by quicker than ever. But thank you, Viv, for being here and for being such an incredible leader in our organization. You are so incredible. And so I'm so grateful to have you as part of our leadership community. And so check out Viv, and also head to the Toronto East branch. And you can find that on our website, hhwglobal.com, and check out what she's got going on there with her and her amazing trailblazers. So thank you, everybody, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks, Viv. Take care.
Thanks so much, Natalie.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.